Hi, I'm Dr. Steve Zemanek. Our question this time is from Crowley, Louisiana. He writes, "Thank you for your videos. The God you speak of is much different from the God I hear about each Sunday at church. The God I hear about is much more stern and hard to get along with than the God you talk about. Can you help me understand the difference?" This is a great question, and I'm glad that you asked because it shows that you're taking very seriously the fact that there may be a God, and if he exists, what he could be like. How we view God affects us in a couple of significant ways. First of all, how we view him really does impact whether or not we're going to pursue a relationship with him or try to avoid him altogether. If God is some sort of a cosmic Adolf Hitler, we're going to want to hide under the table and ignore him altogether. If God's some sort of wonderful old man upstairs with gray hair sitting on a rocking chair, well, he might be nice to visit on Easter and Christmas at church, but other than that, he's probably pretty dull. How we view God determines whether or not we're going to pursue a relationship with him or not. Another area that it affects is whether or not we want to spend time reading the Bible. I mean, if God's not real, then the Bible might be wonderful literature and give guys like me something to do in our free time. But why bother genuinely studying it if we're studying about a God that doesn't exist? Another area that it affects is what his followers look like. How we view God determines how we as his followers live. A lot of people who claim to be followers of Jesus are uptight, irritable, hard to get along with, mad at the world. You almost think they're mad because everybody else gets to sin and they don't. They just don't have the guts to admit it. How we view God determines how we live as his followers. The best way to reconcile all of this is to put aside everything I've said, put aside everything your church has said, and sit down with the historical documents, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and let Jesus, through those documents, reveal what God is really like. See, I believe that God wants two things, come straight out of Jesus' mouth. He wants us to have a genuine relationship with him, to love him, he says, and to have genuine relationships with people around us, to love our neighbors as ourselves. That's what followers of him look like. And the reason I enjoy reading the Gospels as well as the rest of the Bible is because I believe that this Jesus is real. The historical data is there. It supports that he was here and that the claims he made were true. And because he's real, I want to know him. Let's be honest, if God could rise from the dead physically as Jesus did, that's a God I want to know. And finally, I want to know him because he's not at all like what they say he is. He's not mean, vicious, vindictive, sexist, ignorant, and passé. No, he is a relevant, living, dynamic being who wants to transform the lives of every single one of us who will engage in a relationship with him. Well, those are my thoughts. And remember, because of Jesus, life is good today.